Let's start with the block that we are titling Needs More Info.
Yeah.
A couple of guys you really like, things you saw that were like, oh, this is pretty good. You liked him in college, and now we need a little more info this season.
That's
Drake
right.
Maye and Michael Penix.
I mean, big-time talents right here. Michael Penix Jr., Drake Maye, both, like, phenomenal last year. Phenomenal in a lot of ways. Now, let's start with Michael Penix. Michael Penix only played a few games. So I can't sit – I got to see a little bit more. That's why it needs more info. Drake Maye, again, he wasn't the starter to start the year, right? Missed some time at the end of the year. Okay, there's some rawness there. There was some managing of him a little bit to a degree, but wow, did I like what I saw from both. Michael Penix, here's the big thing. The talent, the arm talent just pops off the screen. There's no question about that. I mean, and all you got to know, is speaking back to Kirk Cousins and what we were just talking about there, yeah, Michael Penix was capable of hitting some of the aggressive, explosive plays that Kirk Cousins couldn't take advantage of when he was the starter. Now, the difference was Michael Penix, they had to kind of pull back the playbook a little bit, right? That's what you heard me saying. We see in clips here, and I mean, it's you know, perfect spirals, bombs away, aggressive decision-making, look calm as hell in the pocket, can make big power throws with ease.
I mean, that might be the most perfect spiral I've ever
Hey, he throws beautiful, beautiful football. Perfect spirals. And like I said, the power throws and downfield throws with lack of effort and being able to do it and make it look so easy. I mean, even look at that. Like his face, there's no strain. He's on the run, and it's just like, oh, yeah, here's a 20-yard out route on the run. No problem. Boom, right there. So that's what you love about Michael Penix. Standing in the pocket, not bothered by people around him at all. Love that as well. The thing that I need to see more of and why I say need more info is just it was 3 games and it was basic. It was basic. It was the beginner's part of the playbook. So I liked everything I saw from that. Right? But he didn't have the full arsenal of like, hey, we're going to get and really deep into our 3rd down and 7 package here so you can do some of the things Kirk Cousins does and read the field that way. No, they didn't do that. They still had the training wheels on to a degree.
Right.
And I expect him to take the next step in that category this year.
So his 3 games here on paper, his best one was his last one, over 300 yards against the Carolina Panthers, had a couple of touchdowns from the tape. Did you see some of the best stuff from that game, or does any play or series or game stand out in those 3 for you, what he can do?
Well, the Carolina game had maybe the most highlight throws, right? The Washington game, though, with the meaning behind the game, the fact that they were still in the playoff run, right, it wasn't an easy game. He kind of hangs in there, gives them an opportunity at the end of the game. Late in the season, when everybody's like full systems go, ready for football, and you're just getting used to football in the NFL, and you have to play in that type of playoff atmosphere type of football game and not play your best, but still, they obviously had the confidence, and that's to me the thing that jumps out about the stats is the amount of throws in each game.
Yeah.
To just go, damn, they obviously thought he can handle that. Right? So that's the big thing. But I think with him, more than anything, and what's going to change their football team, and you're kind of hearing this too, that they want Darnell Mooney to take the next step and be a bigger part of the offense because he's going to open the field up. Mooney's going to open the field up with the Michael Penix Jr., which is going to open a part of their playbook that just was not available on a consistent basis last year, which was, hey, I got all these ways coming from Sean McVay, Zach Robinson, I'm talking about the offensive coordinator, that I can find people open 25, 20, 30 yards down the football field, and we couldn't even call some of those plays last year because of Kirk Cousins. We weren't comfortable with what he would do or if he could do it at a high enough level, and now they're not going to have to worry about that with Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, it's I mean, is it all just working out now for the Atlanta Falcons? It was almost like the bad decision wasn't to take Michael Penix when you already had Kirk Cousins. The bad decision was to get Kirk Cousins to begin this whole thing after all. But if you got the salary cap space and they've been able to rebuild the defense right here, I would think that on paper, if you believe in Michael Penix and you've got him here in the top 20 quarterbacks and they got some weapons around him, I mean, I don't know. We're not doing NFL playoff predictions quite yet, but this is a team that it should have enough to get over the hump.
There's one of those teams that I think you and me will hem and haw a little bit when we have to do our playoff predictions, right, and who will make it. You're going to be like, are they going to get in or not, right? I feel like they'll be one of those fringe teams, right? And they'll take some thought from us to go, ooh, do I want to take a shot? They're very close. I mean, but on paper, yeah, it looks like they got enough pieces to be in that conversation. Do I think they're in the class of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yet? No, probably not. But they're close. And he's the guy that can put them over the edge a little bit to go, oh, whoa, okay, wow. With him now and his explosive arm, and then the combination of Bijan Robinson and their ability to run the football, all of a sudden it becomes, whoa, we got to defend this whole field, deep down the field, because he can throw 70-yard bombs, and yet they can run the ball underneath with Bijan and throw screens and all that and make it very stressful on a defense. And I think that's what you're pumped about Michael Penix. Moves better than you think, did add a little size, hung in the pocket. That was some of the questions I worried about a little bit, because his last game in college against Michigan, he got the crap beat out of him. And I said, I can tell you in that game alone, I was just like, I don't know if he's going to be able to handle the NFL. Is he just a little too frail, right? But he doesn't flinch in the pocket. And for a big arm quarterback, here's the last thing before we moved on to Drake Maye. He does anticipate well. Usually big arm quarterbacks are like, well, let me just see him turn the corner and make sure he's going to be open. And then they throw the rifle in there, right? He's got an ability to kind of go, wait, he's turning the corner. I see the window. It's going to be there. Let me just drop it and let my guy run in and get it. He's got all that. He's a gifted thrower. I'm expecting big things, but I just want to see a little bit more before I throw him up here too far in my rankings. Again, my rankings are all the teams are equal. We all have the same coach. We all have the same team. It's basically a pecking order. This is a quarterback depth chart, all right? That's what we're talking. And, yeah, I do play the projection game a little bit here, so we'll see where it goes, but I'm excited for Michael Penix and the Falcons.
And I don't want to harp on it. I already brought it up about the decision last year to draft him 8th overall, but it is interesting when you look back at that. It's just like, and I don't know if they realized it was a mistake with Kirk Cousins or if he was a little farther behind or they had already given him that money. Who knows exactly what happened, but they often say, you don't want to make one mistake, compound a mistake by making another mistake.
Don't double down on one stupid mistake.
It turns out not drafting Michael Penix would have been a mistake for them, because where would they be without Michael Penix right now? They'd be Desmond Ridder and trying Kirk Cousins, hoping he can come back, healthy at 37.
I never had a problem with Michael Penix being drafted. That wasn't what we talked about on the pod.
Yeah.
We talked about, why didn't you know you were going to draft him way before you signed Kirk Cousins, right? That was the problem. Yeah. It was like they signed Kirk Cousins, and then they went to the Michael Penix workout, and they were like, whoa, we should take him at number 8. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, but you should have known that 3 months ago. Like, he was in that category.
Reallocate the money from Kirk Cousins,
and you could have a
playoff team.
Totally, exactly right. That's where they made the mistake. But to your point, the fact that they saw him, they liked him, I give them credit for that, of making a very tough, messy type decision where people like you and me are going to question them a little bit and throw them under the bus, right? At least, like you're saying, they didn't let one mistake become 2.
Yeah.
And within that, really let one mistake come 2 and 2 become 3 and go, whoa, we're paying him all this money. Let's make him the starter one more year, or let's let him finish the year and do all that. No, they ripped the cord. They said, see you later. It's time to start Michael Penix, and we're all pumped about that.
Yeah, Pete is mad that Michael Penix only finished 2nd in the Heisman Trophy, so the fact that Terry Fontenot did not see him, he might not have been watching college football that year because he was very good.
Or obviously there wasn't enough of an in-person visit to see what he was all about, and because just you read between the tea leaves, it certainly seems like, it was that workout, his pro day workout, and that where Atlanta came away a little bit like, whoa. And that started the whole conversation about maybe we should draft him at number 8.
Right. All right. So the Falcons did not make a mistake in drafting Michael Penix. We thought maybe the Patriots made a mistake by drafting Drake Maye, but he was better than we thought, than you thought he would be in his first year. He is in this tier of needs more info, but the info that we got last year from Drake Maye and his handful of starts, you really liked it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I did. And he's another guy here that, like, him and Penix, I might be wrong here. Maybe I should have bumped them up a little higher, right? That's what I get it. But at the same time, there are a few things that are raw about his game. But I will say, like, yes, me having him as the sixth ranked quarterback coming out in the draft and all that, he's exceeded my expectations. I'm not one, and I hope everybody can appreciate this, and I know you know this, that I'm not going to sit here and just go, well, I'm never going to give him his credit because I had him ranked here, and I'm just going to, poo-poo him and talk him down until he hits that level, and I can go, I'm right. Look, I was right about my draft ranking. No, it looks like I'm wrong about my draft ranking, okay? That's what I'll say. Now, the thing you love about him, okay, is just the big ability, a little bit like we talk about with Michael Penix. First off, he fixed some of the throwing mechanical issues that I worried about in college football, and that's not always easy to do. We're going to talk about a guy we're here in a little bit there. I'm going to go, he still hasn't fixed himself all the way since college football. But so he fixed that. He did become a more consistent thrower of the football that way, but there's no denying the big playability. First off, plays really big in the pocket. He plays big. He plays tall. He's one of those guys, when he's standing there, you're just going like, wow, I mean, he looks like he's 6'5", 6'6". He could see over the line of scrimmage, do all of that. His arm, the ball explodes out of his hands. He can throw 60-yard posts, and you're just like, man, is he in the park throwing to, one of Ahmed's kids? It just looks like it's graceful and easy. So he's got that aspect. The running takes you by surprise, right? I knew he had some good runs in college football. I will not say I thought it was going to translate totally to the way it did in the NFL. His ability to take off and not only just get 5 yards, get 15 or 20 with ease, that was really impressive. Throwing on the ball was impressive. Throwing on the run was impressive. He made a number of explosive, game-changing, field position-changing type of throws in his play this year. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not. Does he stand in the pocket and hold the ball sometimes and you're just like, hey, check it down, get it out, run, do something. Don't take this hit. He takes way too many unnecessary hits. That would be one thing. He has a little bit of the disease of, wait, I'm going to wait for that one guy to come open a little too long, right? The first read. Or he gets off the first read and he waits for the second read too long, right? So there's little nuances like that. Handling pressure in the blitz and where I'm going to get the ball out of my hand quickly. Those are some of the things you look at to go with Drake Maye. The throwing still can use a little bit of more polish. He's not the machine you think he is. And you really break him down, here is one thing that popped out to me. It's like either super short throw or it was a super long throw. I didn't see yet machine-like throwing of like 15-yard comeback, 20-yard out route, 20-yard in cut, that type of stuff, right? So that's, again, goes back into our need a little more info. There was some in there, don't get me wrong, and you go, ooh, that was pretty good. But there are some in there, too, where you go, he lost control of that football. Or you go, why are you throwing that ball into double coverage right there, right? So that's just some others, that's the next step he has to take. Yeah. And I think Josh McDaniels will get that out of him. But, yeah, when you really break it down last year, a lot of it was 4-yard throw here, 4-yard throw here, screen here, 5-yard throw. Ooh, deep post down the middle for 45 or 50. And he was really good at throwing the deep ball. But you're not going to get away with that all the time, right? They got to find ways to also be a machine in that 10 to 15-yard area. That's where you make a lot of your meat and potatoes in the NFL.
Well, let me say this about Drake Maye, and that's big of you to take, an early L on your initial ranking of Drake Maye. But let me just say this, too. That's a very good quarterback class, too. And there is still a chance that
he could be 6.
Caleb
I know.
Bo Nix, Michael Penix, who knows? J.J. McCarthy, he's still in that realm of, they're all good, but someone had to be 6, and maybe it was just him for him. And some of the stuff in college, and this was when I was the amateur film watching guy. I saw him. I think we both agreed when you watch his tape, some of the greatest plays for him were just like, man, that is awesome. That is an NFL quarterback. That's the number one quarterback. And then, but he had also more of the, wow, that looked ugly. That did not look good. So the consistency wasn't there. We have some video of him throwing here recently at OTAs. I want you to get into what specifically you think is different from his throwing from when he was in college to now, what you saw last year, hopefully carrying over into this year.
Yeah, just let this keep playing. Now, here's the first one, too, and if we have other ones, you can play them, too. But the first thing you always heard me talk about was he was a toe pointer a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. He does it a little there, but in the clip before, he doesn't. You don't want your big toe. You're not a ballerina dancer, right? Really more when you say step at a target, okay? If I was going to step and be in the middle of the clock and step at a target and I wanted to throw to 12 o'clock, I kind of want like my pinky toe to be going towards 12 o'clock, if that makes sense. Almost like on a sideward angles. You see that here with some of these throws. See? Yeah. He's not necessarily pointing the toe. It's like the side of the foot goes to the target. And then as you throw, the foot turns, and now it looks like the toe is at the target, right? Through your torque, and you're doing that. But so that's the first thing I look at. The second thing is it's also with the feet, he keeps a base. Remember one of the things I talked about? He let his feet get too close together all the time, and it'd be like, they'd get too close together, and then it was like, hey, now I got to widen them out to throw. Too many moving parts to put that all together all the time. The good throwers are in a base because it allows the feet to be quiet now, and now let your upper body do the work, right, with the good base underneath you. If your base is all over the place, and now you're making that move as you're trying to make the upper body move, move. It's just too much movement on your body, and it compromises your accuracy. The other part of that, too, if you remember, was our talk was he let the ball drop behind him too far. He'd break his arm angle, and his arm would almost be out here like a baseball pitcher. And you don't see NFL quarterbacks throw that way. And at times, I would say it's segmented. He'd honestly pull away, stop it for a second, and then like restart it and throw it. Now it is one consistent, smooth motion, let alone he doesn't let it go behind him to that extent. So that's what I'm excited for him. He's going to take the next step there with Josh McDaniels, that offense and all of that, right? There were still training wheels on with him last year. He's got to learn to protect his body. He's got to learn to have a plan to get the ball out of his hands when pressure is coming around him. He doesn't need to take some of the hits he took last year. He took a lot of big hits, right? And we just got to find a little bit more of the in-between throws like I was talking about. A little bit better feel for anticipation of what's about to come open. Don't always look and see it come open. He can definitely work on that. But, yeah, like I said, I came away with, like, it's either really short or it's an aggressive throw, and we got to work some of that intermediate game just a little bit more.
I mean, the Patriots, more than most teams in the NFL, have been rebuilt through free agency, the draft, obviously, too. He has a rebuilt offensive line. He got a new center, a new right tackle in Morgan Moses. He got Mac Hollins, Stephon Diggs, TBD, whether he will be there or not at this point. Travion Henderson, one of my favorite running backs in college now, is there with Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, for the first time in a long time, it feels like that the Patriots have potential for some big plays.
I think so, too. And, you know, we didn't hit on the Stephon Diggs situation here. It's unfortunate. I'm not shocked they wanted him and wanted to sign him, right? This is not a good look for him, and he's disrespecting them. They gave him a pretty good contract for a guy that's coming off an ACL injury. Now, I think they've liked him for a long time. I know they did. I said this to Florio on the show today. One, Brian Daboll had him in Buffalo, right? So that's the New England coaching staff. A lot of these people that are on the staff right now, they know Daboll. So I'm sure he was able to, like, hey, he does everything well. I know New England likes Stephon Diggs coming out of college a ton. He fits what they want to be. He's a great route runner with versatility, right, smarts, all of that. So they wanted somebody that was a proven commodity, a stability for their wide receiving core, and he hasn't been there or been around, right? And they gave him basically $16 million this year. So they're like, what the hell? Then let alone not only are they at work and they're working and they're getting back at it, but he's at the Met Gala, he's at the Knicks game with Cardi B. Now he's on a boat giving him adult candy or whatever. I don't know. Just allegedly. I'm not sure what it was.
What was that? I was going to ask you. No one knows what it is. I was like, Chris might know.
I mean, it looked like pink powder to me. I don't know. Might have been Fun Dip.
Allegedly.
Could have been Fun Dip.
Speculation.
Right? Okay. But yes, either way, that's not a good look for him.
Yeah.
And what it does, too, and the fact that he's not there, and you hear Scott Zolak, right, ex-quarterback up there, does the New England radio show, all of that. When he says they're thinking about cutting him, I don't know if I believe that, but I think it's like they probably told some people that they knew would say that to send a warning shot.
Oh, I'm sure there's people in the building who are angry, who maybe don't have the power to cut him, but it's like, we should cut him.
This is New England. They take great pride in their organization. The Kraft, Vrabel, they're not these kind of guys. These are football crazy nutbags, right? And I'm saying that in a totally great way. The Patriots through the years, they haven't had off-the-field issues with players being crazy, right? I mean, they're not one of those teams. And when you have those issues, they usually are like, see you later. Get out of here, right? Antonio Brown, you didn't tell us everything. Out of here. In fact, we want some of the money back we paid you. Boom, get out. They don't stand for that crap. And, yeah, it's Mike Vrabel's first year. It's Josh McDaniels' first year. They got him to help Drake Maye in the wide receiver group, and he's not there. He's in danger of losing his spot because I would not be shocked if up there in New England they're like, hey, we're kind of good at receiver. We're a little bit better than I thought. Man, if you listen to the reports, Kyle Williams is kicking ass up there. They could be at a spot where this call comes from of they just going, we'll be okay without Stephon Diggs, right? We'll make it. We're not going to be decimated. They could be looking at, Booty and going, damn, he's better than I thought. Demario Douglas, ooh, he's pretty good. Damn, we got Kendrick Bourne. We got Mac Hollins. Oh, we got Jalen Polk last year in the draft. All right, we're okay. Screw Stephon Diggs. Now, the language in the contract and all that are going to be a big thing, but I thought we should just address that real quick.
Yeah. No, I mean, it really is unfortunate, right?
It is.
It's just like, by all accounts, it's like, Stephon Diggs. You've met him before.
I'm a huge fan of Stephon Diggs.
It's just too bad.
He's not a superstar one anymore. He's not in the spot anymore where you can just be like, I'm the man, deal with it. I'm on a boat. Like, right? That's just not that's not where he is. And then coming off the ACL and all of that, right? That's just it's not the best look for him. I don't expect them to cut him, but I think that was a strict warning shot. And if he makes one other little misstep here, I would not be shocked if they just said, see you later.
It's a wake-up call, and then we'll see how much he wants it here. All right, so Drake Maye and Michael Penix Jr., two franchises with the Falcons and the Patriots who have, looks like, quarterback of the future. We'll see what happens. Needs more info. We'll get that info in 2025.
Yo, homies, what's up? Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.